So how about that Shigeru Miyamoto guy? How about him, huh? So Shigeru Miyamoto is often treated as this, like, all-knowing god. And truth be told, he deserves it to an extent. He created many, legendary franchises. But the thing is, when you treat someone who did a good thing, like, as a god, you kind of, like, fuzzy everyone's idea of them for a few reasons. Shigeru Miyamoto, if put in front of a team of game developers, could create something amazing. However, that's about it. And that's not nothing, but I'm just saying, if you put him in front of a group of directors and movie producers and shit, then what he'll poop out isn't going to be a golden egg. Is that a bad thing? No, not at all. He's good at making games, he's good at directing and designing them, but he's not meant for other medium. I mean, over the years you hear about Miyamoto blocking unique characters and larger attempts at creating a more interesting story in games and shit, with like how fucking Koizumi had to, sneak story into Mario Galaxy and shit like that. And it kind of just makes you wonder, what's the deal with that? And when it comes down to it, I think because Miyamoto's philosophy with games is that, anything in the game, the most important thing is the gameplay, which is absolutely true. But I think, like, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing. It just varies from issue to issue. But before I go into how it, it involves video games, I want to real quick read a statement that Miyamoto made in an interview regarding the Mario Galaxy movie and how it was paced. Another thing is, for example, parents sitting there out of a sense of responsibility taking their children to the movie theater, or a story that's moving for the parents but the children are running around the theater. I've always wanted to make a movie that isn't like that. So in that sense, I think it was good that we decided to make it a fast-paced 90 minutes that would be over in no time to catch your breath. I don't understand any of Nintendo's decisions. That's not how movies work. Nintendo as a company, their decisions they've been making in the past years, I've said it over and over again, they're all fucking stupid as shit. None of them make any goddamn sense, and it's not funny anymore. It's just fucking annoying, because you kind of wish that this company could just get a grip and know what they're doing and make decisions that make sense based off of other things. The best thing I can think of recently is they put the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 OST on Spotify for a limited time. Have you heard anything so fucking stupid? The limited release on Spotify for a video game OST, half of which is almost 20 years old at this point. You can listen to on fucking a million different channels on YouTube. And it's being limited in a limited release. It's being put on Spotify. It's just fucking annoying because it just makes no sense. And as a fan of the games, you're gonna go on Spotify, listen to them for like a month or however long it's there, and then you're just gonna like go back to listening to it on YouTube because you're not fucking using Nintendo Music. These are decisions. It sounds like they just like let random people make these decisions, and it's so fucking annoying and stupid. And now Miyamoto talking about how he thinks it was good that we decided to make it a fast-paced 90 minutes that would be over in no time to catch your breath. And it's like, for why? You ever go to a theater and the kids are running around and they're like running around the theater and you're just like, oh my fucking god, like please, these parents need to like either beat the shit out of their kid or grab them and leave the theater because they're ruining the experience for other people. Let's translate that to adults, behavior in adults. When I find myself uninterested in a movie, I often just talk to the person I'm with. I'll just commentate on the movie. And is that not the adult equivalent of running around the theater? Because I'm not gonna fucking stand up and just start running around the theater. Maybe a kid is getting up and running around the theater. Maybe I'm talking to the person next to me because I'm not engaged in the movie, and the movie isn't engaging in the slightest. And it being a fast-paced movie, because it's not even the portions in which it's fast-paced, like you have a chunk of things going on here, the next chunk, the next chunk, the next chunk. Like they're all unevenly spread out, and they don't even have similar amounts of times that they're on screen for. So I don't, how is this solving that issue? And I don't fucking, by the way, I don't go to many movies where kids are running around the theater. Is that a thing, like where Miyamoto goes to theaters? So Miyamoto's reluctance to have story in anything is a mediocre issue when it comes to video game development, because ultimately, video games are for the gameplay, not the story. Of course, the story is important in a lot of games. You enjoy it for the story, but when when it comes down to it, the thing that makes video games different from books or from movies or from just word of mouth storytelling is that you play them, that you interact with them, and that's what makes them more fun to you over other forms of medium. The thing is, though, is that at this point, Miyamoto has almost nothing to do with any video games at Nintendo, right? He just gives the thumbs up and says, "Yep, looks like a Mario game to me. You could ship it." He's not on the development teams. He's on the board of directors, and I just think that that's a terrible place to put him. I think they're taking Miyamoto and treating him like he's this everything man, when in reality, he can do one thing amazingly, and he shouldn't be doing other things. And they're asking him now to take a break from the one thing he's good at doing and do many other things, and it makes no fucking sense to have him do that. And the thing that's just very ironic about a lot of this is that there's a fresh generation of brain-dead idiots that was spawned from a 2016-2017 era set of Nintendo YouTubers who kind of like pushed a lot of these ideas that certain games were bad and certain games were good, and certain things Nintendo was doing were good, the other things were bad. I think it like just ruined an entire collection of people with just the worst opinions in the world. I feel like for a while the helm of it was Arlo in like 2016, 2017, around like when Color Splash came out. Now, I don't know about you if you've played Color Splash, if you've played like all the Paper Mario games. Like, Color Splash isn't by any means a bad game. It's flawed a little bit, but it's a great game. It's like I said, it's got some flaws. It's got some things in it that's just like, what the fuck is this? I need to go all the way back to Port Prisma to get something so I can beat a boss battle. That's fucking stupid. It absolutely is fucking stupid. Not a perfect game by any means, but on no planet is it a bad game. And what a lot of these Nintendo YouTubers would have you believe is that this good, this bad. Now you have to scream about it to Nintendo. And they're all like spineless fucking pussies because they can't stick to any solid opinion. The thing I remember hearing a lot with like Color Splash was that we need a sequel to the Thousand Year Door. We need a third game in the series that does the exact same thing. Is that necessarily a bad thing? No, because the first two games in the series were very fun. Though, of course, it's obviously important that the series try new things so it doesn't get stale. It tried some new things. Some things didn't work out, some things did. And here we are to this day where, leaving Color Splash and going to the going to Origami King, the people who bitched and moaned about Color Splash really loved the Origami King, even though it was essentially, it carried along all the same issues as Color Splash did. It fixed the XP issue of, Color Splash barely having an XP system. Sticker Star didn't have one at all. Those were some fucked up issues in those games. Those were just genuine game design flaws. But the bare minimum has to be done to impress these people. You have Bobby, who was somewhat of an ally in the game, who existed for like 40 minutes of gameplay. I'm exaggerating, but it was a very short amount of time. And that is enough to make these people turn around and rip their shirts off and beat their chests and fucking cream at the idea of Nintendo releasing anything at all. The people who bitched and moaned that the New Soup series blandified the Mario franchise for a decade, and everything that came out was so fucking bland, and there was nothing new going on it, which is true in a lot of the cases. It just isn't in some others. But then those people will go and see the Mario movie and treat it like it's the fucking it's goddamn like Lord of the Rings. It's like you people bitched and moaned for story in Mario games for so fucking long, and then you see a Mario movie with no story, and you're treating it like it's the visualization of the Bible. For a while, I've been wanting to make a video on Nintendo YouTubers and why I hate them, because Nintendo fans are very stupid and and they just there's some of the most mentally feeble fucks on planet Earth. I swear to God, because it takes so little to convince them of an opinion. If I could make like a separate YouTube channel where I pretend to be someone else or some kind of fake Twitter account, and I could peddle like the dumbest bullshit about Nintendo, and I would gain a massive following because these people just don't know what the fuck they want. Color Splash, terrible. The Origami King, great. But they're essentially like the same game. I remember there being a portion of Origami King that was almost an exact reused part of Color Splash. It's the Skull Island chapter. It's like almost the exact same thing. Like they obviously reused it. But I think a lot of these Nintendo YouTubers, and Arlo was like at the helm of it for a while, because I remember watching him around like 2016, 2017. The idea of game design and what makes a game good or fun has just been like completely fucking. It's an idea that you can't even tangibly think of, because so many people on YouTube, so many influencers, have like convinced you that it's other things. Like, I don't know about you, if you know anything about game design, people who bitch and moan about Mario games having no story, but like the thing that makes a video game important first and foremost is the gameplay. Story should always be a secondary thing, and as like ridiculous as that may sound to some of you, you have to like wonder. Mario Galaxy was great, and it had some story in it. People, it wasn't fucking oh my god crazy, insane detailed story, but it had some like little elements that just added depth to the game, and it just makes you okay. Take away the story, and what do you have? You still have Mario Galaxy. You still have really fun gameplay. Take away the gameplay, and what do you have? You have a story with a long-ass fucking boring game. But Mario Galaxy is a slower-paced game than a lot of other Mario games, where, you play a level, and it's kind of like you're settling into playing a level for a little bit, and once you're done, you're back in the observatory, and maybe you look around, there's something new that happened, then you'll go into the next level. So, like, it makes sense in that type of situation for a Mario game to have, a deeper story. With 2D Mario games, it's just never necessary, and it's just one of those things where you can't slow down the game. You can't slow down a 2D Mario game. That's why the 2D Mario games, the new Soup series, always worked with the story it had, the very basic story, is because they're faster-paced games, and they should never slow the gameplay down to tell you some story. If you want to play the card that, give us the option to see some story that, some deeper story. It just makes no sense, and at that point, it's forced. Again, it's just like, it depends. Game to game, style of the gameplay. Gameplay comes first. Once you figure out what the gameplay's like, is there room for deeper story? Will the player feel enriched by some kind of story being implemented? So when I hear people like bitch and moan about how the 2D Mario games had no story, it's like, that's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard. You people have no idea how game design works. And then a larger portion of these people, it goes to show how little they appreciate actual, down to it game design. Because a lot of them, it just takes a fucking aesthetic. You look at Mario Wonder, it just takes like a fucking aesthetic, and that's all it takes for the game to be a million times better than anything before it. And it's not even that, sometimes sticking to something more plain looking is better, as ridiculous as that may sound. Absolutely nothing wrong with experimenting. I mean, look at like Mario Kart World, where I think like that art style has kind of grown on me. I think it's cool that there is a Mario Kart game, because they've all gone for like a pretty standard Mario style so far. I think the art style they go for there is cool. I think the graphics that they have for it are shit, but the art style, if they fucking put more effort into the graphics, it looks nice. It's cool to have a Mario Kart game that follows that art style. Super Mario Wonder art style, it's fun. It's just like, I don't care. Like I've talked about Mario Wonder before. The game just it has flaws where the new Soup games don't. It just introduces things that just kind of drag down the experience. It has some uninteresting level design. It feels like a lot of the levels are, you play it once and you never need to play it again. and there is no interest in playing them again. It's not like that with the new Soup games. The way the levels are designed, they're just very replayable for fun. So you have Nintendo, who makes it's like this perfect storm because the Nintendo community is such an interesting one, such a vile like bowl of shit. You have Nintendo, who makes stupid fucking decisions, that are all reinforced by a bunch of idiots who were trained to think one way and one way only, the way of the Nintendo YouTuber and influencer, who tells them what they should be thinking and wanting from Nintendo. You should hate Sticker Star and Color Splash, even though they're fine games. There's definitely flaws with both of them. But it's like, I don't know, the people who have played Sticker Star and hated it, and I'm not saying Sticker Star is a great game. Sticker Star is very flawed. I enjoy it when I play it. I think it's fine. But it's just fucking flawed, and it's got a lot of blandness in it for sure. Like, the people who played Sticker Star and hated it, did you play Brothership and love it? Because that just wouldn't make any fucking sense. Because I'm telling you right now, the gameplay of Brothership is much worse than Sticker Star. The only thing that Brothership has over Sticker Star is unique characters and setting. Is because if that's the case, then you have no appreciation for game design at its core. And the only thing you're giving a fuck about are if there's an aesthetic and if one character is called Googly Moogly instead of Koopa. That's kind of what we get. That's the product of, the stupid fucking belief system that a lot of Nintendo YouTubers have convinced the masses to follow in, like, gospel. So all in all, I just wanted to make this video real quick because I wanted to share my opinions on Miyamoto. Today's Taco Tuesday. I'm going to be eating tacos today, but I wanted to share my opinions on Miyamoto and the way he's been, treating shit lately. Because he's just not... It's a shame that he doesn't understand that he's, like, tarnishing his reputation, really. Because this is making a lot of people realize that he's not a writer. He's a game designer. And that's just what I don't get. Nintendo is just making terrible decisions. I understand, like, there's seniority in the company, and he's a legendary golden goose, but he's just not made for everything. He's not meant for everything. Fucking Shintaro Furukawa needs to, like, make decisions that make sense. He needs to make sure his, company is making decisions that make sense. And they're making a lot of decisions that make no sense. They're making decisions like Miyamoto, who can design video games but is against story. We're going to let you make a movie. We're going to let you tell Illumination whatever the fuck you want. We're going to have the Mario Galaxy OSTs on Spotify for a limited amount of time. Even though we've never put any of our OSTs on Spotify, although that would make terrific sense, we're going to just put specifically these two on in a playlist, and they're going to be there for a limited amount of time. So, like, limited time music. It's not fucking a limited time Big Arch McDonald's burger. It's music that people listen to on occasion. Now, it's going to be there for like a month, and then you cannot listen to it anymore. I'm sad to say this, but I just don't... honest to God, I just don't care about anything... Like, I almost don't care at all about anything Mario anymore. I've just been, like, too burnt. Once they replaced Charles Martinet and replaced him with... Which I have another video short little yapping off video I'd like to do a video on. Replacing Charles Martinet with Kevin Afghani. I just, like, started to just fucking bleed any care I have for the franchise, like, anything new coming out of it, because I think that was a fucking stupid, terrible decision. And they're replacing, like, all the voice actors slowly now. Like, they replaced Toad and, who sounds like shit.
Oh, okay.
And they replaced Peach. They replaced her voice actor out of nowhere. They just randomly one day... she found, I think it was when Mario Kart World came out, she found out that she lost her job because she wasn't cast for it. And it's just like stuff like that. And the way they've tainted the Mario and Luigi series with Brothership. It's just like, I can't find it in me to care anymore. It's like, I'm burnt. I don't fucking care. They're making all these terrible decisions that show no respect to this massive lineage of amazing games. It's like, what the fuck? They just don't... It's sad that people are treating it as anything but a complete lack of respect for a legendary franchise. Shintaro Furukawa is the fucking worst thing to happen to Nintendo. And It's just sad. There are no like it's weird because they used to be so strict about certain things. Like when Wreck-It Ralph was being made and they wanted to use Bowser in the movie and they sent over some shit to Nintendo saying, "Is this okay?" And they like requested little design changes to make sure he looks on model to Bowser. And then you watch the Mario movie and it's like, what the fuck are any of these characters? And you play a new Mario game and it's like, what the fuck are any of these voice actors? It's like I don't understand what decisions are being made, but they're not good decisions anymore. They're just not. And the most recent terrible decision on Nintendo's part is letting Shigeru Miyamoto write movies. Letting a man who notoriously does not like story in his games write a movie. And again, it's not, I know he's said this in a lot of interviews. He prioritizes gameplay. And I understand that. And that's why when he designs games, they're always fun no matter what. But it's just like you can't deny that there's just this huge clusterfuck of confusion and what's good and what's not going on in Nintendo right now. It's just very poor leadership because no decision can be like solidly made anymore. Any decision that fucking makes sense and is backed up by logic. And the thing that's like making everything more confusing and worse is that no matter what they do, Nintendo fans will buy it and egg them on. So they don't like. It sounds stupid. It sounds like they're like I'm talking about a stupid idiot child who keeps putting their hand on a stove. But like that's actually it. It's just you have a bunch of moronic fans trained by Nintendo YouTubers who have very like uneducated, poor opinions on things and don't fully understand what makes games fun and good. Almost training people to like dog shit because it just takes a cool aesthetic and a variety of characters. That's all you need for a game to be fantastic. And it's like, no, that's literally incorrect. A video game at its core is the gameplay. That's what should be prioritized overall, no matter how. And of course, even during an era of Nintendo prioritizing gameplay over any story and original characters, you had pieces of shit like Amiibo Festival and Mario Tennis Ultra Smash and shit like that. But you know what isn't helping? Treating Mario Wonder like it's the greatest 2D Mario game ever made because it kind of looks fun and it's got a cool like cartoony aesthetic to it. And treating the Mario movie like it's a fucking fantastic, probably the best video game movie ever made because it looks fun and it has cool colors. Like that's just doing nothing good, and it's an endless loop of pure shit being pumped out. It's people convincing themselves it's good and Nintendo lowering the bar because they're seeing that they really have to put nothing into them. They can continue making decisions that make no sense, and it doesn't matter because no one's going to treat them like the idiots they are at this point. Everyone's going to continue saying, fucking Sony and Microsoft better watch out. Nintendo is fucking winning the game here. It's like, no, it's just everything is shit. And we need to we need to get that into everyone's heads. Everything is shit. And Miyamoto is making bad decisions. And us treating it like it's anything but shit, a shit decision on Nintendo's part to allow it to continue happening, we're just going to continue getting more shit. Mario Movie 3 is going to come out. It's going to be fucking worse. Unless they let not Miyamoto take the reins. As far, even if it was just Illumination in charge, it would probably be better than, Miyamoto being involved at all, to tell you the truth. I don't have that much faith in Illumination to provide a very terrific movie, like either way. Like, I think the last Illumination movie I saw was Despicable Me 3, which I saw as like a joke, and it was just so shit. It was really bad. Nintendo should just give it to a different company. I know they can't at this point. They're really locked into Universal with the theme park and the fucking 2 movies and that. But it's just a sad like point we're at now. And feeding into it continues to make it worse. But that's all I have to say. Anyways, I'm Bearman. I've been wasting your time. Thanks for watching.